Hey everybody, T-Man again, bringing you guys another video, and yes guys, I am not dead, and I am alive. Alive and well, bringing you guys another video, and boy, oh boy, what a hiatus I took. A lot of you, probably wondering, what happened, T? How come you guys are not making no more videos? Well, I will give you a very short, sweet answer. I've been dead, and I've been resurrected by the Undertaker, and now I'm back again. That's what happened. Seriously, guys, I was dead, and then the Undertaker came. No, I'm just bullshitting with it. You know me, man. My sense of humor has never been that good. No, seriously, guys, I've been really busy. Had a lot on my plate. As you guys know, when I do videos, I usually shoot them when my son, who is 2 years old, is taking a nap. But he does not take naps anymore, and I have not been having time between that and going to work at night to make videos. But all that is changing. I am now making time to do more videos, and I am back, bigger, better than ever. Quick channel updates. I've talked about this way back when I was making videos on a regular basis. I am going to be coming back with guests. Now, those of you who've been following my channel a long time, I've been teasing for a very long time that Vince Russo is going to come on via Skype. We're going to shoot an interview. Vince Russo has promised me this interview. He just tweeted me probably about a month ago, says he's still down to do it. Have not heard back from him. I'm going to send him another message. And I also got a couple other guests that I'm not going to say at this time. Not really known in the wrestling community, but known in the comic world of comic book stores and stuff like that. A lot of cool things coming down the line on this channel, but right now let's get into it. My SummerSlam preview and predictions is here, guys. It's here, and this is going to be a lengthy video because I have not been doing my Monday Night Raw reviews in months. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of what I think is going on in WWE with each storyline angle. Now, with that being said, right after this video, if I have time, I want to shoot my thoughts on the Roddy Piper death and how I believe WWE handled it. Stay tuned for that video. I don't like it. Let's just put it that way. So let's get the SummerSlam. 4 hours this year we're getting. SummerSlam is 4 hours, and here's what I think, guys. I think it's a bad idea. First of all, I mean, that's what makes WrestleMania special. What makes WrestleMania special is that it's a very long event. It's 4 hours, 5 if you count the pre-show, and that's how SummerSlam's going to be. They're still going to have the pre-show, and then they're going to have a 4-hour live pay-per-view. I think that's a mistake. I mean, WrestleMania should be that long because it's special. I mean, every pay-per-view is 3, WrestleMania is 4. Now they're doing SummerSlam. What's next? Survivor Series? Royal Rumble? I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that. Not to mention, we're getting too much from WWE right now. There's a lot of wrestling going on right now. I mean, you got Monday Night Raw, which is 3 hours. And I'll tell you, even though I believe the show has been improving, there's a lot of things on Raw I do like. It's way too long, and it's boring sometimes. I mean, the 3-hour Raw is just unwatchable. It really is. I mean, I really think they would have... I think Raw would be really great if it was 90 minutes or 2 hours. I think there's a lot you can do off of that, but the 3 hours is just... It's unwatchable. I mean, you see a lot of things that are just stretched out or just... you've seen way too many times. And I mean, I've complained many times how Raw opens up the show. Raw opens up the show. I've said it in every single video. Those of you who see my videos know every time you see Raw, it opens up with a 15-25 minute promo. And I'm always like, why does it have to do that? Because they got 3 hours to kill. I've been watching a lot of it lately, and I'm like, you know what, they got 3 hours to kill, man, and they got to do something. So even though if we've seen the same promo a million times from the Authority or Seth Rollins opening up the show every single fucking week, they kind of have to do it because you got 3 hours to kill, and it just makes bad TV. I don't blame WWE. I know why they're doing it. It just makes bad TV, and I believe WWE's been putting out a lot of bad TV. Anyways, let's get the SummerSlam. Let's talk about the match that is really making the excuse for the 4 hours, and that is the Brock Lesnar Undertaker. They're booking this as one of the biggest matches ever in WWE history. They're booking it as all this other shit. I think it's going to be a really intriguing match. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, but I think it's a mistake from WWE making this match right now. And I'll tell you, I mean, I don't think you want to throw. I don't think you want to do this if I was WWE. I think it's a mistake. Brock Lesnar going into this match is arguably the top babyface in the company. He has so much momentum. Really, Raw's at its all-time highest ratings. Whenever Brock's on Raw, people just wait to see Brock. Brock is the hottest thing going on in WWE right now. I mean, he's huge. By far, Roman Reigns, they watered down Dean Ambrose. They have no other top babyface in the world. John Cena's doing his thing with the U.S. title, which I like him just doing the whole U.S. title thing. But no one's ever going to be behind him again for a top babyface for the world title again. That ship has sailed. He might win the world title again, and I'll get into that on my co-main event with Seth Rollins. But I just think Brock is the hottest babyface going, and Undertaker, he's a legend. He's beyond a legend, and I think having Undertaker go arguably one of the greatest legends. Fans are not going to root against the Undertaker. Okay, it's really interesting because it kind of reminds me a little bit of a WrestleMania 6 situation with Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, because you got two baby faces that the fans just absolutely love, and you're making the fans choose. Now, which one do you like more? And even though that's kind of what they're doing here, because everyone loves The Undertaker. Everyone now loves what the biggest badass Brock said. And I love how WWE's booking Brock Lesnar. They're booking Brock Lesnar like, you know what? This man has not lost since, in 2 years, I think they said. He hasn't lost in 2 years. He's coming off all this momentum. That is big. I love how they're booking that. Brock Lesnar has not lost in 2 years. That is so rare in wrestling. Brock Lesnar's this freaky attraction. Undertaker's this freaky attraction who's just a legend as the dead man, making the fans choose. And now I say this is, on that aspect, I think that's the only part WWE sees of it. Seeing, okay, this is going to be a great pay-per-view. We could really build this, make it 4 hours, make it extra special, make it like a second WrestleMania this year. The only problem is, remember, somebody has to lose. Now, Undertaker, we probably won't see again until WrestleMania after this. Brock, we'll probably see a few more times for a few more pay-per-views. Now, do you really want to, water down Brock Lesnar's jets like that? Do you really want to cool his jets off? He's coming off all this momentum. So if you have The Undertaker beat Brock, avenge the loss that, that Brock Lesnar had against them, if you do that, avenge the streaks, do all that, Undertaker gets his revenge, you're really cooling off Brock Lesnar. Okay, it's cool for Undertaker because then he could go into WrestleMania maybe against Sting and have so much momentum, but to me, there's no other way to book it than to have Brock Lesnar win again. If I was the WWE, I would have Brock Lesnar win again. And here's why. Because you could do a lot more if Brock wins than Undertaker. Because if Undertaker wins, all you're doing is, okay, he wins, he avenges the loss of the streak. Good for him. But where do you go after that? Brock Lesnar, who's arguably the biggest badass, hasn't lost in 2 years. You just keep that momentum going. Whoever beats Brock Lesnar clean later, maybe at next year's WrestleMania, you can really build off of that. You could really build off of that. You could arguably maybe put Roman Reigns in against Brock Lesnar, and finally having Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar, which he wasn't able to do at WrestleMania 31. You can do that, have him beat him clean, and then send Roman Reigns off as the biggest heel, because right now Roman Reigns is going to beat a top guy as a heel right now. He's not going to get over as a babyface. And I think WWE is fine, even though he's a babyface right now. But Dean, I think we all know that's a matter of time before those two split. It's a matter of time before Roman Reigns betrays Dean Ambrose. It's not going to happen at this pay-per-view, but it's a matter of time. So Brock Lesnar. So you want to keep Brock Lesnar's 2-year undefeated. You want to keep all that momentum that he's coming off as the ultimate badass. You don't want him to lose from The Undertaker. Then you don't see The Undertaker from WrestleMania. And then maybe face a Sting at WrestleMania, which we all know Undertaker would beat Sting if that match happens. But having Brock Lesnar win, there's so much you can do. You could have, you got Brock win, right? Damn, Undertaker beat Taker again. What the hell? Undertaker just cannot do it. He can't beat Brock Lesnar. And JR, Jim Ross, said on his podcast, it's on podcast 1 if you guys don't know about it. Check it out. Jim Ross has said before on his podcast, it would be a good storyline, and I agree with this storyline. If they don't do Taker Sting, they can do Taker Brock again. And this time will be Undertaker's retirement match, because I think no matter what, Undertaker's going to retire at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. And he should. And I think it's going to be a great send-off for him. And I think we all know he's going to win that match no matter what. No matter who he faces, if he faces Sting or if he faces Brock again. But if you go the route of Brock Lesnar again, damn, Brock, beat him again. Beat him again at SummerSlam. Now Taker comes in his last match, 100,000 people. Dallas, Texas Stadium. Can I beat this big bad bastard? This is my last go around. Everything I got. And with 100,000 people finally defeating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Then that would be okay for Brock to lose that momentum, because then that really meant something. That's Undertaker's last match. That meant something. But just him beating them just for the sake of avenging the streak right now, I think that's wrong. I think Brock should win this match. I would have never booked this match because I don't want to jeopardize arguably my number one babyface right now, putting him up against a legend of legends like The Undertaker. I would not do that. So I personally think Brock's going to win. And even if he doesn't face, even if Taker doesn't face Brock at WrestleMania, either way, Undertaker winning to me, that makes no sense. I mean, if he beats him, then he's going on against Sting. Because let's say if Undertaker beats Brock Lesnar, okay, the rivalry's not going to end. If Undertaker beats Brock Lesnar, you're not going to see that match for a third time at WrestleMania, because we all know now Undertaker could beat Brock, so they're not going to book that at 100,000 stadium. And you don't want to put Undertaker against Sting after him coming off the win against Brock, because Sting hasn't even won a match in the WWE yet, especially at WrestleMania. He couldn't even beat Triple H at WrestleMania, and that was the biggest mistakes of mistakes. Sting not beating Triple H at WrestleMania was the biggest mistake, and it really proved that Triple H just wanted the win, just wanted to bury WCW even more than it's already dead, and just kick them right down. It makes no sense at all at WrestleMania having Triple H beat Sting. So I mean, if you really think about it, I don't want to see Undertaker and Sting if Undertaker beats Brock. Now, if Brock beats him again, like I said, you got two possibilities now for Taker. And but I'm starting to get the feeling that we're never going to see Undertaker Sting. If it was going to happen, it should have happened last year for Sting's very first WrestleMania and Undertaker coming off the streak. I think that would have made a little bit more sense. And it didn't. So anyways, my prediction there in a long rant, Brock Lesnar picks up the win. No matter what. I'll be shocked and appalled if The Undertaker wins, because you're burying both men right there. Like, it's stupid. It's more interesting if Brock beats the sumbitch again. You're like, wow. Next match, John Cena versus Seth Rollins. And I like this. Again, another WrestleMania 6 feel. Title versus title. Champion versus champion. And I love when they do that. I love when they put title versus title, especially when the world title going up against the U.S. title. Either way, this is a very intriguing match. And I wonder if this match is going to go on first or last or co-main. Many ways this match can go on. And to me, there's 3 interesting matches in this pay-per-view. And no, it's not the Green Arrow match. It's this match, Cena and Rollins, and also Cesaro and Kevin Owens, which I'll talk about that right after the Cena match. Now, Who do I think is going to win this match? This is very interesting. I don't see Seth Rollins having both titles. Like, it could happen, and I could see maybe Seth Rollins dropping the title the very next night on Raw, or maybe on well, what's the next pay per view? Night of Champions. I could see something like that happening, like the very next night. I could see something like that happening, but I think it would be more interesting and would make more sense if John Cena won the match. If he won the match and had both titles right away, and then have the authority, Seth Rollins, beat the dog shit out of him or whatever. John Cena throws him off. John Cena's all whatever. And then Sheamus cashing in the Money in the Bank. Because Sheamus is very interesting having this Money in the Bank because, in my opinion, if I'm writing the show, I would have had Roman Reigns win the Money in the Bank and more cashing in as a heel and turn a heel. But, Sheamus, I think he's a great villain. I think he's a great heel. But the thing about Sheamus is, if I was writing the show, I would only have 3 champions in this calendar year. I would have Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose. Have all 3 members of the Shield through now the WrestleMania. I would have those guys. Sheamus is that sore thumb. You don't, and he's a heel, and he's a really good heel. But you already have Seth Rollins, who's a better heel in my opinion than Sheamus, as the champion. So why would you want your second heel win the title, have a title run other than your first? Maybe Sheamus could cash in after WrestleMania, like at what is it? Extreme Rules? I wouldn't say Backlash. Extreme Rules. Yeah, you could have that happen. Maybe cashing in whoever the champion is, maybe Roman or Dean Ambrose, depending on what direction WWE decides to go in. But I think SummerSlam is the perfect opportunity to have Sheamus cash in that Money in the Bank. It's a perfect opportunity because John Cena would win the match. Fine, he gets another title reign. I think he'll tie Ric Flair or pass it. I forgot what he's at, 16, or if this is going to be 17 or something. I think he's tied with 16. I'm not sure. 15 or 16 title reigns. And then immediately having Sheamus win. And then you can have it a triple threat match at Night of Champions. You have a triple threat match at Night of Champions, and I think it would be really interesting if you have Sheamus win. He gets a world title. He gets that rub now, right? And he gets a 1-month title reign, and you book it like this. So now you have John Cena as the U.S. champion. You have Sheamus as the World Heavyweight Champion, and you got Seth Rollins with none. Then you could roll in the Night of Champions, and you could kind of do a match like they did back at WrestleMania 2000. I think it was Benoit, Jericho, and Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle had both the Intercontinental and the European title, and they made it a 2-fall match. First fall, the European title was on the line, and the second fall, the Intercontinental title was on the line. And Kurt Angle lost both titles to Benoit. He lost one title to Benoit, and he lost one to Jericho. It would be very interesting if they did that, because it's no secret that John Cena was going to take some time off after SummerSlam. Well, maybe he takes some time off after Night of Champions. And then you can make it, okay, Sheamus rolling in as the world champion. John Cena's rolling out as the U.S. champion. And then you do it like this. We're going to have 2 falls at Night of Champions. Have the first fall for the United States title, Sheamus wins. So now you got Sheamus, your second heel, having the secondary title, which I think the U.S. title now means more than the Intercontinental title now. So now you have Sheamus as your United States Heavyweight Champion. Then you have Seth Rollins winning the second fall, winning back the World Heavyweight title, and then John Cena leaving with no belts, and having John Cena go on and take his vacation, which he's planning on doing, I heard, and he'll probably come back, maybe Survivor Series or a Rumble or something like that. That would make a lot of sense. So let's see if WWE goes that route. It should be very, very interesting to see which way they go. Next match I'm very interested in, and this is my pick of match of the night, and that is Cesaro versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens an amazing in-ring wrestler, having a great trilogy of matches with John Cena and Cesaro. Those of you who's been watching my videos for as long as my channel's been up, known that I'm a huge Cesaro fan. Not because I look like I'm gonna have the same goddamn haircut as him, but I've always said he's the best in-ring worker in WWE. He can wrestle a broomstick and put that broomstick over and make him look like $1,000. He can. Cesaro's that good. And finally, fucking Vince McMahon, finally putting Cesaro in main marquee matches, and having the whole Cesaro section thing, that fans started and all this. I think it's beautiful, finally. And what really makes me think Vince McMahon was out of touch, he said recently in an interview, or I forgot where I read it from, oh wow, Cesaro could wrestle. Cesaro could wrestle? Going back to the Austin podcast, people were telling him that, and he barely figured out Cesaro was marketable. Yeah, an amazing concept. Wow, fans actually like a wrestler that's actually the best wrestler on the roster. Yes, they do. Cesaro doesn't need to have a crazy gimmick. Cesaro doesn't need to have crazy promos, which he's getting better on his promos. His gimmick is he's the best damn fucking wrestler on that roster. That's his gimmick. And when he goes in there, you do not see a boring match with Cesaro. Same thing with Kevin Owens. That will be an amazing match. Now, what I would like to see this match happen, Kevin Owens, even though he coming off the losses to John Cena, will not hurt him. No, actually, really, Kevin Owens, I think, would be the second primary heel, not Sheamus. I'm sorry, I said Sheamus earlier. I would say Kevin Owens is actually the second heel, then Sheamus would probably be the third. Like I said, I really don't like Sheamus holding the Money in the Bank, but yeah, I already covered that. But still, cash in the Money in the Bank. But Kevin Owens, what I would like to see happen in this match between Kevin Owens and Cesaro is I would like to see Samoa Joe. I would like to see Samoa Joe come out, and they've already hinted at a rivalry between those two. I would like to see Kevin Owens leave, and Samoa Joe leave NXT. They've already hinted around with a match between Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. I would just have Samoa Joe's music hit. Not really physically interfere, distract the match. Have a nice 25-minute match. I would have that match maybe open up SummerSlam. Just get the whole crowd into a 25-minute match between Cesaro and Kevin Owens. Have them just tear down the match, back and forth, near fall after near fall. Have Samoa Joe's music hit. Cesaro hits the neutralizer real fast. He turns around, he looks at him. Then Samoa Joe runs around and turns back. He just looks at him, points at him, then turns around. Then once when Kevin Owens turned around, Cesaro hits the neutralizer, picks up the win. Does not hurt either man at all. I think Cesaro needs to win more because they always have Cesaro put on these great matches, but they always have him lose. Now it's time for Cesaro to start winning matches. So I would have that happen, and I don't think the loss hurts Kevin Owens at all. And then he starts a huge program on Raw with Samoa Joe. Then the next night you have Kevin Owens come out and cut a promo and start that. That's the way I would handle it. Let's see what WWE does. Next on, we have a boring match between Randy Orton and Sheamus. I don't give a dog's asshole about this match at all. The only reason why these two are still rivaling is because they have nothing to do and they're top names, and that's the only reason why they're still rivaling. Oh, let's just continue this rivalry even though it's about nothing and means nothing, and no one really gives a rat's ass about this match because they just need to fill time and they're top names. That's why they're going against each other. Don't care about this match at all. You know me, I'm brutally honest. I like both men. I like Sheamus as a heel. I think he's still finding himself. I like I said, don't like him having the Money in the Bank, but I think he's a solid heel. And I think later in the future he could be a dominant heel. I mean, Sheamus reminds me a lot of Roman Reigns. They've looked at Sheamus for years now, for the last 5 years, as the guy that one day is going to be the guy, like to take over Triple H as like the number one villain. Has not happened. He had this horrible run as a babyface or whatever. Same thing as like Roman Reigns. Like they get these visions in their head and they just don't come to pass. Like Roman Reigns, I don't think he's gonna be a top babyface anytime soon. I think he needs to get over as a villain first, as a heel, before Roman Reigns could be a babyface. And Sheamus, I mean, even though he is a better heel than a babyface, like I said, this match doesn't interest me. I would say in this match, same thing as WrestleMania. I think Randy Orton is going to beat the Money in the Bank winner, and then Sheamus is going to cash in by the end of the night. If Sheamus wins the match, then I would be very surprised if Sheamus cashes in that same night. Could happen, but I doubt it. Moving on from there, Dolph, this is my wife. This is her favorite storyline going on. My wife likes the love triangles. She loves the love triangles. You got Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. My wife, now the rest of the matches, I'm running 25 minutes on this video. I'm just going to run through the rest of these predictions. I love the rivalry. Like I said, this is my wife's favorite rivalry. I would give the win to Rusev. You know, I mean, Dolph Ziggler could win, but I wouldn't cool down the jets of Rusev too much. You know, Rusev to me is already taking a backseat. Even though love triangles are interesting, I don't want to see Rusev lose to Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's contract's ending. Who knows if Dolph Ziggler is going to stay with the WWE? I would personally like to see Dolph Ziggler leave the WWE and go to Global Force, but that's a video for another day. And so I give that win to Rusev. Next match, a very gimmicky match. Not going to spend much time on this. Is King Baron and Stardust versus, I forgot the actor's name, the Green Arrow and Stardust. They're booking this as a comic book superhero match, which is stupid. WWE, Vince McMahon still proving that he's all about the cartoonish gimmicks and whatever. Going too superhero in this. I think it's obvious that the Green Arrow and Neville will win the match. I don't really care about it too much at all. Not really interested in it. Next match on the card here is, again, another match. You know, it's funny. Sting was originally supposed to be a part of SummerSlam. Originally. I don't know if you guys know this. Sting was originally supposed to be a part of SummerSlam. And they backed out at the last minute because it was supposed to really be him and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against all three members of the Wyatt family. But Eric Rowan is still injured, and they felt like SummerSlam already had enough star power and didn't need it. Yes, it does need it. I mean, yeah, the Brock match is good, the title match is good, but the rest of the card is average. And just because you bring the Green Arrow in there, that makes it enough star power to make people interested in that gimmicky match? No, WWE, that's why you guys fucking suck these days. Like, oh... You need Sting. So now you have Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns in a tag match against Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. And why is this tag, like, why do we have interest in watching this tag match? We see these same 6-man tags, better matches, 6-man tag, 8-man tag, 10-man tag teams on SmackDown. And you know, we probably even seen this tag team match on the SmackDown probably a couple months ago if you look back in the inventory. We probably even seen that. So this is like a SmackDown main event that you're putting mid-card on SummerSlam between top 4 guys because you really just don't know what to do with them. Like, I mean, the storylines are just so mediocre. Like the Randy Orton Sheamus match and this tag team match. It's just there because you got 4 guys and you're just pairing them up against 2-on-2s. Stupid, man. Just, means nothing. I think if they're smart, they're going to have Eric Rowan and Sting interfere in the match, which will set up, I believe, Night of Champions. Or maybe the next pay-per-view after Night of Champions. Be a little bit better, you know, because Sting's in shape. Sting's supposed to do a match pretty soon. I don't really like it. But whatever, you know, it'll be cool to see Sting. Sting's my boy from WCW. As everyone knows, I'm a WCW guy. So whatever, you know, don't really care about that match. I mean, the rest of the matches I don't really care about too much. And then you have Ryback, Big Show, and The Miz doing their triple threat match finally. I think it's a good move by WWE. There was a lot of people saying, "Oh, how come you guys are not stripping the title back out of Ryback like you did with everyone else?" First of all, it's the right call. You guys stripped the title way too much. It needed. I mean, the Intercontinental title is so cursed. I mean, you had King Barrett, and then you had or Raid Barrett, Bad News Barrett at the time. Then you had what's his name, Daniel Bryan. The Intercontinental title has just been stripped way too many times, too many tournaments, too many battle royals, too many shit to determine that. I think it's the right call. They knew that Ryback was just going to be out a certain amount of weeks, and instead of stripping the title again, just wait the 1 month or 2 months. I mean, with Barrett, they knew was going to be out a long time. Like, they knew he was going to be out a long time. Daniel Bryan, they didn't know how long he was going to be gone, probably permanently forever, but he still hasn't returned. So it's the right move. It was the right move for those ones. With Ryback, it was a staph infection. They knew exactly how long. I believe WWE handled that correctly. So in this match, I would say that Ryback was just going to retain the title, but I wouldn't be surprised too if The Miz won it. The odd man out is Big Show. I don't think the Big Show's going to win. I love the Big Show. He's my boy. Him and Jericho, man, last two guys remaining from the old WCW days. So anyways, I get the win there. I would say Ryback, but I wouldn't be surprised if The Miz won as well. Tag team match, don't really care about too much between the Primetime players, New Day, Lucha Dragons, and El Matadores, or whatever the hell their name is. I hate that team so bad. Tell the truth, that's when I go take a shit or eat a snack or whatever, is when those El Matadores bull guys come out. I see them and I get a headache, and I just want to go out of the room. I like the Lucha Dragons. Don't think they'll win. New Day, I would like to, either New Day or Primetime players. I love the Primetime players, and I think New Day is a good heel. I would have had the New Day had the tag team titles for a lot longer, but at this point, I would keep the belts with the Primetime players. But we'll see what happens. Then you got the Divas match, the Elimination 3-team match. I think I'm always wrong on the Divas. Those of you who've seen my prediction videos all the time, I'm always wrong on the Divas matches. Always. Always. I never pick the right ones. I say Paige's team, maybe Paige, or if it's like a Soul Survivor type thing, if it's elimination, I see like maybe Charlotte, or Sasha Banks, somebody like that, picking being the Soul Survivor just to build up those two as potential challengers. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Sasha Banks dropping the NXT title. I don't know if she's wrestling at the big NXT event Saturday. I wouldn't mind seeing Sasha Banks dropping the title, the NXT title, then maybe winning, being Soul Survivor or something for her team. Then possibly having Sasha Banks versus Nikki Bella, and then having Sasha Banks win and being one of the main heel divas in that diva division, because I think Sasha Banks is more of a natural heel than the Bellas. The Bellas are just too popular and stuff. I mean, when they go against Paige and stuff, Paige gets over because everyone likes Paige. But I think as your main villain, bad girl, I think Sasha Banks could be that. Definitely. So that's SummerSlam. I don't think I'm leaving anything else. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am back. I don't know how many videos I'm going to be making at a time, but at least I pumped up this one. And I'm going to try to pump out what I think about how WWE handled Rowdy Piper after this. I'm going to try to pump that video out too. Until the next video, have a good one, guys.